Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marilisa and you're watching The Girl Miss Yarn. Today I have a finished project focus video where I'm going to talk all the details about the Boundless vest by Maria Walters. You guys know I have a thing for fashion. I love to follow runway shows. I am one of those that will set up an alarm at 4 a.m. in the morning so I can watch a runway show live like I am. Front row. And a couple of weeks back I did the work and I wanted to see what was trendy for the fall winter season and how can we translate that into our projects, sewing wise or knitting wise. One of the trends that was quite prominent out there, high fashion, editorial, and even influential people on the gram were using our vests. Vests are having a moment. I don't think they have ever been out of style, but they are everywhere. And I think vests are an amazing way to add warmth and texture to your wardrobe. You can use it over shirts and dresses, or you can use it by itself or with a skirt or a palazzo with a little blazer. That will be so nice. There's so many you know, vest patterns out there, and I did a little bit of the digging and I grabbed a bunch or a couple for you guys so you guys could check those out. Some were very minimal, so were free, and in this case this was a little bit more involved, which just before we start talking about this pattern, I had the misconception that vests were going to be easy and fast, and they're actually not that fast. They are not done top down, the majority of them, so there's going to be a chunk of your project that you're going to be working back and forth. So it's one thing to consider. I thought, and I had done a vest before and that went quite fast, but this one, because we have all this cable, was a little bit more involved. So it's faster than a whole sweater, but so you know, if you don't like purling, maybe vests are not for you. Although I'm going to tell you that it's going to be worth the pain. Okay, so let's talk about this design. This design caught my eye because of the cables. There's a lot of texture out there, and I love even the contrasting neck band on the pattern, or kind of like the promo pic, and I jumped into it. I love how kind of like accentuate the vest. I love how this V accentuate the entire design, and I thought it was so clever. So I think this thing is gonna be in my wardrobe forever if I keep my same size, and I love it. This beautiful thing was designed by Maria Walters, or known as Knitway on Instagram. I tried to find a bio of her on Insta or Ravelry and couldn't find one, but on the latest I found that she has 31 patterns published there, and she has everything: women's sweaters, kids sweaters, shawls, cowls, hats, you name it. Her sweaters are around size 1 to 9 up to fit a size 60 something average chest, so quite inclusive. And she also had one design published in the Liner magazine issue number 14th called Lido, and that one is done in fingering weight yarn. You can buy it by itself. It's just $6.50 on her Ravelry, and it's quite beautiful if you ask me. So as a disclaimer, I paid for my pattern. The designer actually offered it for me, and she did send me some other patterns that I'm going to get into eventually, but I wanted to be fair. And I think when you know, when you get something, you're a little biased, so I am going to be very unbiased here. But don't worry, I don't think I have anything, maybe one thing that I was a little like. This pattern is made to fit a size 32 chest to 66, and she suggests that you pick the size that is 0 E's or your bust measurement. I am a size 36 chest, so I picked size 2, which is to fit a 36 to 38 chest, I believe. And I follow the recommended needle size US 8 metal needles. I use Addis, and I didn't freaking gauge swatch, which we're gonna talk about that later on. I don't know. I don't know. I want to be really clinical, and to be that, I need to gauge swatch. You guys are gonna make me accountable from now on. So nothing about this pattern, but when you don't gauge swatch, you don't have the entire information. I know. Although when I gauge swatch, I don't get the information either, so I don't know what's going on. Let's talk about the yarn. So I use Harrisville Design in the Highland Worsted, and this is in the color 80 or foliage. It's a cute, nice rust color with some flecks of, red and gold. I bought this yarn for an old project and I failed miserably. Maybe when you were watching my videos back in 2019, I bought this for a project and it never worked. So I've been holding on to this for a while. And this one is 100% virgin wool. It's quite grippy and a little, yeah, it's quite delicate, so I had to be very cautious when I was doing the cables, not to like pull too much. So I had to let go of my tension a little bit, and I used 2 full skeins. I actually have 2 grams left of this, and the yardage for my size was 369 yards, and I used 398 because I didn't do the contrast color yarn, because I didn't want to go and buy and do like an investment and I had the yarn, although I could, but then, you know, I needed 2 colors. I don't know, it was just like too much, and I was just like, you know what, I think I can make it the exact same color and I will be able to wear it with more things, because I don't have 3 colors that I have to max or mix and match with my wardrobe. It's just have 1 color and it will be so easy. So 2 grams left, and I actually was I thought I wasn't gonna have enough for the last rib on the sleeve. So construction wise, let's start by saying that I didn't do any adjustments. I followed the pattern to the dot. So you start with the cast on. I cast on too many stitches, and then I cast 2 little stitches, so I had to cast on a 3rd time. It looks quite complicated, but it's just 2 shorts that get move around. And what I did, I printed the charts and I taped them side by side because I was working those continuously, and I color coded the cables. And so I will look down and I knew that red was the right cable or whatever. It made it quite easy for me. Also, I track the rows. So one of the shorts has 4 rows and then you repeat it. The other one has 6 rows. So there's gonna be a time you're gonna have row 1 here and then row 5 instead of being like 1, 1, 2, 2. So kind of that. So I kept that track of that with that. After taping that on paper, I left it clear so I can track accordingly, and it went really fast because it's worsted, so that went really fast. And then I also learned how to do right cable and left cable with a cable needle. I don't know if I said that, but I have recorded this so many times. Anyway, so if you want to add length, here's your time. Then you start working back and forth, but you still have this panel right here, and you start with the decreases. So you start with the decreases until X amount of length, and then you separate here and you start working flat. So you work this flat until you have X amount of stitches, and then you have whatever length. So the only thing is that, and the only thing that I have to point out is that she gives you a measurement from here, middle of the sleeve, all the way up, but she doesn't give it in the back. And I don't know if I did something wrong, but after finishing, this is shorter, I would say like an inch or so than the back. So you work on the flat, and then the back is work on the flat as well. So you never change shorts here. You do change shorts, but it's just the shorts getting divided. So it's I don't think you even need to follow the chart B or C and D or whatever. So I just knew that this was like this cable and that was that cable. So after that, you work and you leave these stitches alive, kind of like, you know, on hold, and you work then your back strap, and then she gives you the measurement from here to the end, but she didn't give you the information like on the front from this point all the way to the top. So that's the only thing that I think this needs to be worked out, and I'm gonna give that feedback to her. But because I think this is lacking an inch or so, it's compensating here. So it doesn't bother me. It looks quite nice, it looks quite tight, but if I look at the, you know, the picture or the model, the decrease is that this middle rib, and then the crease is on the apex. But if you see here, I told you it was an inch. It's actually an inch to the highest point or the apex of your bust. So if you're gonna take that in consideration, you leave these stitches alive as well. So just try it on and then adjust accordingly. That's the only feedback that I have. Besides that, you have the stitches alive, and then I picked the recommended stitches. I should have picked more stitches because, again, I didn't gauge swatch. I don't know how her yarn was behaving. Mine didn't want to stretch too much. It doesn't grew. It was just like, it doesn't have any treatment. So I didn't have the chia pet shenanigans that we have when we have superwash. So I don't have the information correct to give you the feedback and say it's too little. But because I am trying to compensate with the lack of length here compared to the back, I did my first rib and it was too small. So I ripped it off and I cast it on. I think too many stitches. I think I added like 30 more stitches, but I should have added like 15 or 20. And then I also did a regular bind off, and then I changed into an Italian stretchy bind off, and that made everything easier. It looks a little bit tighter here, but I also didn't do the recommend. That's the only thing that I didn't do was do the length of the neck binding, because right now I feel like if it was a little bit longer, wider, it will not have been doing this. So I should have said that. I just did one thing. I didn't do the width, so I take that back. Hello guys, this is Mary Lisa from the future. I'm editing the video and I'm about to just finish it up and make it live. I loved Maria. Her patterns, she added an email for questions, and I follow her on Instagram. She followed me on as well, and I took delivery to DM her directly, and she was so grateful to reply to me. So I had the concerns that I was expressing here, and I wanted to double check with her, and she said that the fabric may have been like the yarn that I used was probably the cause, because the yarn that she used was very drapey and it kind of like stretched a little bit compared to mine that did not. So I'm gonna take a little bit what I said with a little grain of salt, because it definitely I definitely noticed when I was wet blocking, it was not giving. It was not giving. This is 100% virgin wool, never been treated, so definitely I think that was the culprit. So please gauge swatch. That's your information card. You know, you have to always take consideration before and after and all that, and you will know how it performed, and I didn't do that. So I was really thankful that she was able to reply to me, and she was saying, and she said that it was happy with how it fit. Then it's what matters. And I really love it because it's really I think my fit is really nice. Let's go back to the video. I ran out of battery, so I don't know what it was, but lately I'm asking every time I go to my wardrobe and I go through things, will I buy this again? And I'm doing that with everything, and I am asking the same question to my knitting. Will I knit this again? And I will say yes. If I don't have this and I want to, after, you know, going through the motions, will I knit it again? I will say yes. It was quite enjoyable. It was very clear. I don't have, besides the little issue that, you know, it can be taken with a grain of salt because I'm not a designer. But besides that, I loved it. I had so much fun. It was easy also. I didn't find that it was like too intense. Will I say this is for a beginner? If you are a very good pay attention beginner, yes. I started you know, making a couple things, and then I would jump into lace, colorwork, and I didn't have any idea. So very, very pretty. I love it, and I love it. It's just, it's gonna be my wardrobe forever and ever. And I mean, it's my color. What else I have to say? Anyway, so that's it for me this week. I don't know what I'm going to show you guys because I have one more finished object, but we'll see. But until then, happy knitting. Bye.